Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على نبيه ومصطفاه سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وبعد. Brothers and sisters and dear viewers everywhere, welcome to another live edition of your program Ask Huda, the first episode after the blessed Eid, Eid al-Fitr. May Allah accept from all of us, and happy and blessed Eid to all of us. Ameen. Our phone numbers haven't been changed. Area code 002-0238-555-249. Alternatively, area code 002-011-2500-8679. And the email address is ask@huda.tv. The Facebook page is Dr. Muhammad Salah Official. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to our very first caller in today's program. Brother Hamid from the KSA. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Hamid.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sheikh. How are you?
Fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking. Happy Eid to you and to your family. Welcome to Ask Huda.
Happy to you and to your family also.
Thank you.
So, I have two questions.
Yeah.
The first one is this mandatory for a son to keep his parents with him in the same house while his wife and children are living, while making sure that he keeps them in a nearby place, frequently visits them, and provides all their needs and facilities, besides taking every care of them to ensure their comfortable stay? This is the first question. The second one is, I am from Kashmir, and people over there observe only one Qiyamul Layl, that's 26th and 27th night. During this whole night, people keep offering salah and other azkar. Some people bring in and serve the attendees with some bread, tea, and sweets for the whole night. Is there any sound hadith to do so? Thank you so much.
Okay.
And Jazakallah.
Hamid, assalamu alaikum. Are you there?
Walaikum salam.
Yes. Are you asking about serving the bread and tea, or you're asking about the
Yeah,
practice?
I'm here.
Or the practice that they only pray night prayer on these two nights?
No. What I'm saying that they make Qiyamul Layl, but the whole night they pray and do some azkar. But some people bring in tea and sweets and the bread, and they keep on serving them for the whole night.
Yeah.
And in between the salah, like they offer 2 units of salah, wait, drink a cup of tea or something like that. So is it then some hadith for that?
I understand, but
That's all I want.
you mentioned they only do that on the 26th and the 27th. Did I hear you right?
Yeah. They observe only one night. Here we observe all the 10 nights here.
Okay.
But back home, they observe only one night, that is 26th and 27th night.
طيب, بارك الله فيك. جزاك الله خيرا. First of all, it is not mandatory upon the person to keep his parents with him in the same house, unless if one of them is in such disability, they need full attention 24/7. So in this case, it is my responsibility, the responsibility of the children, to look after their parents and take care of their needs. If it is possible that the person is financially capable to have a nearby flat or house, and they have the maid or the nurse or somebody who's taking care of them while he's gone to work or to earn his living or to do his business, so that it would not burden his wife, because it is not mandatory upon the wife to serve her in-laws. She does that out of goodwill and out of showing love to her husband, and definitely she will be rewarded for that, the same reward as if she is serving her own parents. As it is not mandatory upon the son-in-law to host his parents-in-law and take care of him, but he does that so that he will be rewarded, and meanwhile to please his wife and to show her how much he loves her. So when there is a general understanding and everybody is on the same page, it's perfect. But sometimes when the conflict arises due to the fact that the wife is not willing to serve her parents-in-law, and it is indeed the duty of the son to take care of his parents, especially at an old age, that if it is possible to keep them in an independent flat nearby and he can afford the means, as you said, that is great. Otherwise, if they have no place to go to, then of course your place, you and what you own belong to your parents. In the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, أَنْتَ وَمَالُكَ لِأَبِيكَ. You and your wealth belong to your father. You and what you own are owned and belong to your father. جزاكم الله خيرا. In the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said that the person who is a true loser is the one who witnesses the life of his parents or one of them at an old age, and he still does not achieve entering paradise through serving them. So we need to change our perspective, how we perceive serving the parents. Is it a duty? We have to do it because that they took care of us when we were young, they educated us, they sent us to the best schools, and they made us what we are right now, or because that we do this as a mean of drawing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and hoping that we will be pardoned and enter paradise. When Abdullah ibn Umar ibn al-Khattab, may Allah be pleased with him, observed a man performing Hajj and carrying his own mother on his shoulders, and he asked him, did I pay her enough? Am I paying her enough? He said, not even equal to a single scream or cram that she experienced when she was giving you birth. So you got to keep in mind that no matter what we do, we would never pay them enough. But we're doing this, number one, because it's our duty. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered that in the Quran repeatedly. And the command of being dutiful to one's parents comes second to the command of believing in the oneness of Allah and worshipping Him alone. Secondly, this is an opportunity for any of us who ever have the chance to serve his parents or any of them to enter paradise. May Allah the Almighty enable us to be dutiful to our parents. Ameen. The practice that you mentioned of praying at night in Kashmir, where people would pray for the whole night, and some people would serve them tea and bread. Serving the tea and the bread, the sweet and the halwa and the food to people who are in i'tikaf in the masjid is a very virtuous act. On any day, especially in Ramadan when people are fasting, so some people either offer iftar or they offer suhoor or they bring dessert or sweet or tea in between the prayers. This is great. What is not understood is why do they single out this 2 nights? You say the 26th and the 27th of Ramadan. I understand that on the 27th because some people believe that this is Laylatul Qadr and they rely on a hadith in this regard. But don't you think that this is really mean that you neglect the whole month of Ramadan of the night prayer and you only pray on this night because you think it is Laylatul Qadr? And what makes you so certain that it is on the 27th? Subhanallah, it was concealed for the Prophet ﷺ himself and it was declared to you. When some people say for sure it is on this night, I say the Prophet himself ﷺ said, I was made to forget it. It was concealed for him. So that's why to the rest of his life ﷺ he used to do i'tikaf, whether for the middle 10 days or the last 20 days or the only last 10 days, observing the whole night of every night of the last 10 nights, hopefully that it will coincide Laylatul Qadr. So when we deal with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we should be more dutiful than that. I have joined some people as I was young in college. I joined many groups and many people in worship, and those people would do the special Qiyamul Layl on one night, on the 27th of Ramadan only. And they would serve plenty of food. And they were so certain that Laylatul Qadr is only on this night. And alhamdulillah, we have discussed this repeatedly in the ahadith and the indications throughout the last 10 days of Ramadan when we address this subject thoroughly. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept. And when some people are going to ask me now, when was it? I say, I know for sure when was it. It was one of those nights, one of the last 10 nights. So if you were blessed enough to make an effort, an ijtihad of worship during the last 10 nights of Ramadan, alhamdulillah, guaranteed, you've witnessed Laylatul Qadr. If you skipped a couple nights, hopefully that it was during one of those nights which you were active in worship. If you skip them all, then guaranteed that you did not witness Laylat al-Qadr. Barakallahu fikum. Liz Armian says, my Salah, Dhuhr and Asr are late most of the time because my work schedule is during the night shift until September. Is my late prayer accepted or not? When I go to sleep deliberately and I oversleep and I do not make or take any measures in order to wake up to pray a prayer before its time is out, that's a sin. It is similar to neglecting the prayer until its time is out. And praying on time is mandatory. There are some exceptions and some concessions given to certain people where you can combine the prayers during traveling, sickness, when you oversleep and you did not do that deliberately, then you can combine and you will not be blameworthy. You're doing this for several months. So what do you do when you work a day shift? You go to sleep, and right in the middle of your sleep course, whether you sleep for 6 hours or 8 hours a day, there comes the Fajr prayer. In some places it's at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. So anyway, you interrupt your sleep, you get up to pray because the Fajr time is very short. It is not extended till Dhuhr, rather it's until sunrise. So you get up, you pray, then if you want to sleep back, go sleep, no problem. Similarly, if you sleep in the morning, if you go to sleep at 8 a.m., you want to sleep until it is past Asr and you skip Dhuhr, make sure that you get up to pray Dhuhr, then if you want to go back to sleep, you can do that. This is not an excuse because you work in a night shift. Add to that, if you are in a condition where you cannot go out, you don't have a nearby masjid to pray, then simply you can postpone Dhuhr until it is like half hour or 15 minutes before Asr. So you get up and you pray Dhuhr. Then you just pray your nawafil or sunan, and it's only a few minutes you pray Asr. And this way you still pray Dhuhr on time due to your circumstances. But to just deliberately sleep until it is past Asr, that's a sin. Delaying the prayer from its fixed time is a sin. We have a question from somebody that their father gave some of his children, basically the boys, he gave them gifts, properties as gifts, and he did not give the girls any, and then he died. What should they do? We have a very sound reference in this regard, the hadith, which is narrated by Nu'man ibn Bashir, may Allah be pleased with him and his father, and it is collected by both Al-Bukhari and Muslim. He said that تصدق علي أبي ببعض ماله. My father gave me a gift, some of his properties, some of his wealth, he gave it to me. So his mother insisted, his mother was Amra bint Rawaha, she said, لا أرضى حتى تشهد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. You have to have the Prophet as a witness that you give this property or this wealth to An-Nu'man ibn Bashir. To continue inshallah this after this call. Assalamu alaikum. Papa from Nigeria, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Sheikh, how are you doing?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking, brother.
Yeah, mashallah, Sheikh. How is the Salah?
Everybody is fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking. Welcome to Ask Huda.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sheikh. Please, I need prayers, and at the same time I have a question, please.
Sure. May Allah bless you and your family. Go ahead and present your question.
I mean, Jazakallahu khairan.
Wajazak.
I said, please, after saying, when I get up from the ruku, if I say, Rabb, is it allowed for me, like I'm mamu following the imam, is it allowed for me to say, Sami Allahu liman hamida, then say, Rabbana wa lakal hamdu, then say, Hamdan kasiran tayyiban mubarakan fi, and then say, Mil as-samawati, Mil al-ardi, up to the end, or after saying, Rabbana wa lakal hamdu, I will not say Hamdan kasiran tayyiban, I will just say, Mil as-samawati, up to the end. That's my first question, Sheikh. I don't know if you understand me.
Yes, I did.
You understand this question, Sheikh? Then my second question is, after the Sufi prayer, please, what's the best time for me to supplicate Allahumma inni as'aluka ilman nafiyan wa rizqan tayyiban wa amalan mutakabbalan, and then subhanallah wa bihamdihi adada halki wa rida nafsi zinata arshi wa midada kalimatihi, if I'm right, and then bismillah, all these du'as. Well, they said there is specific time for you to be supplicating after your prayer. So I don't know the best time, or is it any time?
طيب. Thank you, Baba from Nigeria. If you allow me, I'll just finish the hadith which I started earlier. So Nu'man ibn Bashir said, when my father gave me a property, and my mother insisted that the Prophet ﷺ should be a witness to this giving. So his father went to the Prophet ﷺ and he told him the story. And the Prophet, peace be upon him, asked him, do you have other than him? As far as children, he said, yes, I do. He said, did he give each and every one of them similar to what you gave to Nu'man? He said, no, I didn't. So the Prophet ﷺ said, اتقوا الله وعدلوا في أولادكم. Look at the question. He said, أفعلت هذا بولدك كلهم? Did you give each one of your children similar to what you gave to Nu'man? All of them? The same? He said, no. He said, اتقوا الله. Fear Allah. And be just when you deal with your children. It's my money. It's my property. It's my wealth. But these are heirs. They have rights in your wealth. Those are your children. You're not allowed to favor one or single out one of them or some of them with gifts, especially valuable gifts, and neglect the others. Like in this case, you only gave the boys and the girls. It is very unfortunate in many societies. Even after death, the girls are deprived from the inheritance. It's like a trend. People's customs in the villages, amongst the farmers in many places. Girls, no way. Inheritance is only for boys. Subhanallah. Tilka hududullah. These are the boundaries of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and whoever crosses the boundaries of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will admit him into a blazing fire. May Allah protect us all. This wealth is not yours. Now when you die, you should not decide what to do with it. When you write even your wasiyah, the Prophet ﷺ said, لا وصية لوارث. You cannot single out one of the heirs and give him an extra share of the inheritance. No matter whom you are, your wasiyah will be neglected, will be shredded. If he's one of the heirs. If he's not, you cannot deprive your heirs because you like somebody else and you decided to give him or write your entire wasiyah, your wealth, to a masjid or to a hospital. You want to deprive your heirs. You can't do that. So what do? Al-thuluth, 1/3, is a maximum portion of your own wealth to be written after your death, to be given in a charity. But the rest belong to the heirs. So the Prophet ﷺ said, اتقوا الله وعدلوا في أولادكم. You have to be just. So he died already, and he gave this house and this flat and this car to all his sons. What about the daughters? We'll continue inshallah after this call. Assalamu alaikum. Brother Hassan from Nigeria, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Alaikum assalam. Welcome, Yaqi, to the program.
Please, well, I have some few questions here.
Now.
That I need some clarification.
Now.
In some places here in Nigeria during Subi prayer, they pray al-Qunut, that's at the last rak'at after, before Ruku. that's silently, and it's a perpetual thing. So I don't know if it's okay. I think since that I've been seeing them praying like that. So I don't know if it's okay for them to be praying kunut. That should be prayer only. Then my second question is people during prayer, there are people that they could, that after the Imam said Allah Akbar, then somebody will be like echoing to the hearing of the others, even if you can hear the Imam. I don't know if that one too is okay, because I thought it's when you can't hear the Imam, that's when one or other two people will be like echoing to the others.
Okay.
So these are my two questions now.
Okay. Barakallahu fikum. Assalamu alaikum. Brother Abu Bakr from Gambia.
Wa alaikum salam wa
Yeah, Abu Bakr, do me a favor and mute your TV, please. MashaAllah, your family is still celebrating Eid. Could you mute your TV, please?
I have a question that I want to throw.
Go ahead.
What I want to ask is, if at all somebody reciting the Quran inside a vehicle, and he happens to reach at the place of sajda that he's supposed to make sujood, and how can the person make sujood? Is it permissible to make sujood on your camel that you're holding, the Quran that you're holding?
Okay, you're reciting Abu Bakr, where are you reciting Quran?
Like for instance, he's owing in the Ramadan, the previous Ramadan, and he happens to enter inside this other Ramadan now. And he's owing before, and now he's still owing. After this Ramadan, how is the person going to pay off the fasting? That's the oath. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, Abu Bakr. Just a friendly reminder for our viewers, whenever you call, just make sure that you're not listening to yourself on your TV set. In other words, mute your TV or lower down the volume so that you will eliminate the statics and the echo in the call. Jazakallahu khairan, Brother Abu Bakr. In another narration, which is collected by Imam Muslim, the Prophet ﷺ said to Bashir, Ya Bashir, alaka waladun siwa hada? Do you have other children than An-Nu'man? He said, yes I do. He said, أَكُلَّهُمْ وَهَبْتَ لَهُ مِثْلَ هَذَا? Did he give each and every one of them similar to what he gave to An-Nu'man? He said, لا, no. قَالَ فَلَا تُشْهِدْنِي إِذَنْ. Then don't ask me to bear witness to this. Why not? He said, فَإِنِّي لَا أَشْهَدُ عَلَى جَوْرٍ. Because I do not bear witness to falsehood. This is injustice. That's an indication that this is haram. And if not going to witness such thing because it is haram, then you should not be doing that. You would not find anybody else to witness to falsehood since the Prophet ﷺ refused. Assalamu alaikum. Brother Abdul Salam from Gambia.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Abdul Salam, welcome to Ask Huda. Go ahead.
How are you, sir?
And I'm fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking.
How is your family?
Everybody is great by the grace of Allah. Thank you, Abdul Salam.
I wanted to ask, what is dua is?
Abdul Salam, Assalamu alaikum. Try again, please, no problem. So now the father is dead and he's blameworthy. Yani, he will be punished for his injustice towards his own children. What should we do? If his sons truly love their dad and love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they should render back the gifts which he singled them out with, the properties, especially if it is something valuable, to be redistributed in the inheritance according to the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. By the way, giving gifts to the children during your life does not necessarily have to be distributed according to the inheritance law after death. This is the opinion of Imam Malik wa Shafi'i, And we have Imam Malik wa Shafi'i wa Abu Hanifa, may Allah have mercy on them, that this is the opinion of the vast majority, al-Jumhur. They say that when you give in your life, it should be equal. According to this hadith, boys and girls will be treated the same. So if you give somebody a car, you give the girl a car. And if you have 2 boys and 2 girls, you give each one a flat, then the girls will get like the boys. Ibn Qudam al-Maqdisi, may Allah have mercy on him, collected the view of other scholars who said that no, rather it should be distributed according to the inheritance law, 1 to 2. The 1 for the girls and 2 shares. للذكر مثل حظ الأنثيين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Brother Farouk from Gambia. It's a Gambia day, mashallah. Ya Farouk, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Doctor.
Welcome to Ask Huda, akhi. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to ask about the salat.
Now.
If I come late and I miss Imam on the second rakah, and he was about to get up to go for the you just sit for the third.
طيب. I guess I got your question, Farouk. If he comes late and the Imam is in the second rak'ah, what should he do? I would assume that was your question, inshallah. الركعات الفائتة. We have Brother Hassan from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, try again, please. No problem. Brother Baba from Nigeria, who asked about what do you say when you rise up from ruku'? You say Sami Allahu liman hamida, even if you are a follower, not an imam. Then you say Rabbana wa lakal hamd. And if you want to say Hamdan kathiran tayyiban mubarakan fi, that is approved by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you want to add to that ملء السماوات وملء الأرض وملء ما بينهما وملء ما شئت من شيء بعد, that too has been quoted by the Prophet ﷺ as a supplication to be recited upon rising up from ruku', both for the Imam and the Ma'mum. So you can recite them all. But at tasmi' Sami Allahu liman hamida, whether you are an Imam or a follower, you should say it, because this is similar to at-takbir in other movements, takbirat. When you go for sujood, you rise up from sujood, you say Allahu Akbar. So you, as an Imam or as a follower, you should say that. We'll take a short break, and inshallah we'll be back in a couple of minutes to continue answering your valuable questions. Please stay tuned.
Huda TV is pleased to announce the launching of its first mobile phone application on all iOS and Android-based devices. Browse your phone store for our new app under the name of Huda TV. Huda app delivers a bunch of amazing and versatile services to our fans and viewers worldwide. You can watch our live streaming on the move, surf our large archive of categorized articles, benefit from our daily supplications Askar that every Muslim should recite throughout the day. Just tap on any item of the Askar list and it will take you to the specific supplication it indicates to. Need to know the broadcast time of your favorite program? Just click to broadcast schedule for specific details. Huda app allows users to browse the gems of Huda TV website, where they can enjoy our telemedia services by watching thousands of video clips, plenty of audio clips featuring invocations, nasheeds, and audio themes of our favorite programs. Go back to the index page and check upon what is going on at Huda TV by visiting ever-updated Huda News. Get to know the profiles of Huda stars and never forget to tap on our behind the scenes button for exploring our backstage activities. It's also worthy to check upon Huda's pages on social media websites and enjoy our awesome posts and sharing. Download Huda TV's app now and live our world of authentic Islamically themed educational knowledge. Huda TV brings light to every smartphone.
Welcome to Cosmic Proof. the one and only program that leads you to the truth wherever it is, for my sake and your sake.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back. Brother Baba from Nigeria had a second question before the break about certain supplications that he referred to a couple, amongst many other supplications which are known as Adhkar al-Sabah, to be recited in the morning, and similarly to be recited in the evening. And he said, should we recite that soon after the Subh prayer and after the Asr prayer? That is exactly the beginning time for each set of adhkar, whether for the morning or the evening. So for the morning, after you pray Fajr and you recite Khitam al-Salah, it is recommended to sit down to recite those adhkar. It would take 10-15 minutes, in addition to make istighfar 100 times at least. And say Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, Subhanallah al-Azim, the most favorite two words to Allah, in another few minutes. That is called the dhikr, the set of adhkar to be recited in the morning. Also, it has been narrated and recommended by the Prophet ﷺ to recite this very comprehensive dhikr, which is to say 3 times the following dua: Subhanallah wa bihamdih, adada khalqih, wa rida nafsih, wa zinata arshihi, wa midada kalimatih. Juwayriya bint al-Harith, the mother of the believers, may Allah be pleased with her, narrated that once the Prophet ﷺ left for the Fajr prayer, and when he returned, I was sitting doing my adhkar and supplications. They said, are you still in the same place ever since I left? You know what? I have said 3 times supplication, better than all of that. The supplication is what we mentioned earlier, Subhanallah wa bihamdih. Subhanallah wa bihamdih, glory be to Allah, He is free from any imperfection, and praise be to Him alone. How many times? Adada khalq, as many times as equal to the number of His creatures. This is beyond count. Wa rida nafsih, as many times as He is pleased. Wa zinata arshih, as many times as the weight of His throne. Wa midada kalimatih, and equivalent to His favors and blessings or His words. Again, that is beyond count. Subhanallah wa bihamdah. Subhanallah al-Azim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Abu Bakr from Gambia is back on the line. Ya Abu Bakr. Okay, try again. The same you recite in the evening, and the exact right time for the evening supplications or adhkar is after you pray Asr, and it is kind of extended until sunset. These are the favorite times, whether for the morning or the evening adhkar. Sometimes a person gets busy, gets sucked in with other activities, or he's diverted for whatever reason. So should we neglect it since it's already past time? No, say it even after sunrise or after sunset. You should still, when you have a chance, to recite those adhkar. And al-istighfar and al-tasbih is praiseworthy 24/7 whenever you have a chance. Barakallahu fikum. Thank you, Baba from Nigeria. Brother Hassan from Nigeria as well. Brother Hassan is asking about making qunut in the Fajr prayer before the ruku'. Before the ruku'. We established before the reality of the khilaf or the difference of opinion between the scholars concerning making qunut only in one single prayer, which is the Fajr prayer. We said that based on some ahadith narrated by some Sahaba, Imam al-Shafi'i or Imam Malik are of the view that we should make qunut in Fajr. The rest of the scholars and the vast majority are of the view that these ahadith should be directed towards the general concept of making qunut whenever there is a need. Muslim army is set out for a jihad, so the Prophet ﷺ would make qunut in the 5 daily prayers. And some ahadith narrated in Fajr and in Maghrib, and many other ahadith in the 5 daily prayers, but not to single out the Fajr prayer with qunut. And anyway, the hadith are narrated concerning certain conditions and special circumstances. على أي حال, in any case, this is an opinion of some of the scholars, الشافعية والمالكية. So that's why we say, whenever we pray behind an imam, in a neighborhood, in a community, in a country, where they adopt this view, and they are very strict when it comes to that, if you are a follower, raise your hand and say Ameen and join the imam and do not differ with the community, because there is a khilaf. Even though I believe the more right view that al-qunut, according to the sound ahadith, al-qunut with the ta', because some people write it down with the ta', and this is a disaster, because they are entirely the opposite to each other. Al-qunut with the ta' by the end is to make dua. Al-qanitin, the devout worshippers, and those who invoke Allah with sincere devotion. Al-qanit and al-qunut. Al-qanit is the person who despairs of Allah's mercy. قَالَ وَمَنْ يَقْنَطُ مِنْ رَحْمَةِ رَبِّهِ إِلَّا الْقَوْمُ الضَّالُّونَ. And who despairs of Allah's mercy but those who are astray? Those who disbelieve in Allah, they have qunut with ta. So al-qunut with ta means despairing of Allah's mercy. In Surah Az-Zumar, لَا تَقْنَطُوا مِنْ رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ. Despair not of Allah's mercy. So, as far as making qunut before or after the ruku', both have been narrated from the Prophet ﷺ. So whether the Imam is making the dua before going for ruku' or after, both are permissible. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Mahmoud from Nigeria.
Wa alaikum assalam. Good evening, Sheikh.
Good evening to you, Mahmoud. Go ahead.
Yeah, my question is as regards the current situation in the Middle East, especially as regards the Islamic states of Iraq and the Levant.
Can you clarify your question a little bit, Mahmoud, and raise your voice, please?
Okay, I say my question is about your visit, the status of the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant.
No.
You see, we have a situation all over the world where there are crisis situations all over the world, including Nigeria, where I'm living. And we have this state initially from the Islamic State of Iraq and Levant, now metamorphosing into Islamic States. And we have brothers all over the world, including Nigeria, migrating in the name of going there to go and fight jihad. I'm really concerned because, to me, there are some issues that need clarity. And both Iran and Iraq, traditionally, they pass fatwa when issues affecting worldwide issues happen. Salman Rushdie wrote the Satanic practice, and they wrote the Ayatollah Khomeini passed fatwa that they should anybody to kill him. Now, the President of the United States has legalized, or the people of the United States have legalized LGBT, whatever they call it, gay marriage, lesbian, and this. No fatwa, what they are doing here, but look, they are nuclear weapons. You have situation in Nigeria, and people are living in situation at their homes and going to fight for jihad. I said, now Umar, when he wanted to go and fight the Prophet Sallallahu I mean, they told him that your sister and your brother, sister-in-law have accepted Islam. Where are you going to? People are living in Nigeria, people are living in America. You have came out in America, you are coming to Iraq and wherever to fight jihad. I think jihad should start from your homes. That's what I think. You people in Egypt,
Akhi, I got your question. Barakallah fiqh. In brief again, the so-called Islamic State of Iraq and Sham, in brief, is not an Islamic state and do not represent the true methodology of Islam. And I warn the youth who despair of the political situation, of the corruption of the Muslim rulers, of the injustice that is happening to Muslims all over the world. So they despair and they think the ultimate solution is in joining this so-called Islamic State, and it is not an Islamic State. I get calls from all over the world. If you trust us and you want the summary, do not join them, do not even sympathize with them. And sooner or later, you would read and hear about the fact behind these groups. No doubt many innocent people who have been watching videos and seeing them raising the banner of Islam believe that that is the ultimate solution. And no doubt there are a lot of people very naive. They think that this is the solution because there is no other solution. We tried democracy, so-called democracy, we tried elections, but none of that is working. Why? Because the West and the so-called super countries do not want any democracy that will bring Islamists to the leadership. And that's a fact. That's a fact. They don't want that. They don't want Islam to rule. David Cameron is working hard on stating a new law that would jail any person who would speak about the Khilafah or thinking about establishing the Khilafah. They try to link what is happening with the ISIS and Islamic State to the major concept of the Muslim Ummah. Muslim Ummah should be all under the same umbrella. And I want to tell him that not to worry, because as long as your agents are ruling most of these countries, it's kind of too early to speak about it. But it's going to happen sooner or later. The Prophet ﷺ said, no doubt that Islam will reach everywhere on earth. And there will not be a single house, whether a skyscraper or made of concrete or steel or made of fabric or mud, but Islam shall enter it. بِعِزِّ عَزِيزٍ أَوْ بِذُلِّ ذَلِيلٍ. No matter how many laws or constitution that you pass or amendment to oppress Muslims in the so-called free countries. But my concern now is the Muslim youth who sympathize with these groups. Not because they are violent, no. Because our enemies are more violent. And what these guys do, our enemies have done like that or even worse. Of course, I'm not defending either one of them. Both are blameworthy. Both are inhumane. But what I'm talking about, this is not the right group to join, to waste your life. This is not the path that you want to walk in, fi sabilillah, to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your life is much more valuable than that. Not finding a solution right now and currently not finding the true leadership does not mean that you jump off a building. You know, if you jump off a building, that's a suicide, and you're blameworthy for that, and that's a very heinous crime, even though you just took your life. Joining this group and taking the lives of innocent people is way far devastating sin and crime than just taking your life. They do not represent the true Islam. It is a summary. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Brother Ridwan from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Naam, Ridwan, assalamu alaikum.
Yes, my question is on the emphatic optional prayers. That is the prayers before Fajr, before Zuhur, after Zuhur, after Maghrib.
Yeah, the 12 rak'ahs.
Yes, the 12 rak'ahs. Yes. Now, my question is, what if somebody misses performing the prayer for whatever reason? Like, for instance, before Zuhur, one misses performing the prayer at the right time. That is the Zuhur prayer. Can he repay the prayer thereafter, or has he lost the opportunity?
Okay, got your question.
Sometimes, perhaps before you perform the optional prayer, it will be time for the Imam will have already, the Iqamah will have been...
I got your question, Ya Radwan. Naam, I got your question.
Okay.
Simply, Radwan is asking about making up the Nafl prayer. You enter the masjid and you want to pray the 2 rak'ahs or 4 before Dhuhr, but the Mu'adhin called the Iqamah. What should you do? Join the Fard. You can make it afterward. You can make it after the prayer. That applies to all the Nafl. And you can make it up even during the disliked times to pray, but for the emphatic prayers only. I want to continue where I started answering the previous question about the so-called Islamic State and the warning against joining them. And through my studies, not just the religious studies, but the political studies, I understand where many of the youth are coming from. They are in severe despair. They say, look at the current situation. Even in the Muslim countries, look at the Arab Spring and how the Muslim leaders and Muslims funded the anti-revolutions in order to maintain dictatorship. Look how the West, look at the States and North America and Europe are supported dictators and, turning a blind eye and deaf ear when it comes to violating human rights, when it comes to the Islamists or the religious people, as long as these dictators would serve their purposes. I agree. But the solution is not to throw yourselves in hell. The solution is not to take innocent lives. اعدلوا هو أقرب للتقوى. We have to be just ourselves and just to others. Recently, and in the UK, I was asked, and I'm prepared, every single meeting in Europe, in the States, wherever I go, I know the question is the same. In Malaysia, in Asia, about ISIS, about the Islamic State, the so-called. I said the Islamic State is not an Islamic State, okay? So when I was asked, and at this time, 24/7, all the news channels were giving the briefing about the 3 young British Muslim girls who sneaked into Syria through Turkey. And when I was asked, what do you think? I said, you should ask the MI5. You should ask your intelligence or the Prime Minister, especially after the Turks announced the news that the person who smuggled these girls into Syrian lands is a Canadian intelligence. So who is working for whom and who is facilitating what to entrap Muslim youth? It's very fishy. Not just smells fishy, but everything around it. This is not straight. The solution, if these world leaders want to put a stop to that, they should be just. They should be just to Muslims who are living on their soils. They should be just to Muslims and non-Muslims worldwide. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Brother Uthman from Gambia. Yeah, Uthman, assalamu alaikum. طيب. Brother Hassan from Nigeria asked about conveying the takbir behind the imam if there is a huge crowd and somebody raises his voice to convey. That is permissible only whenever it is needed. Some people took this as a fashion. So the mu'adhin gets paid so that he calls the adhan and iqamah and he stands next to the imam to sing the takbir. Allahu Akbar after the imam and so on. Well, if the followers could hear what the imam says and the microphones are all over, the speaker's sound is very clear, there is no point. So it is not permissible in this case for somebody to raise his voice with the takbir. Assalamu alaikum. Last call before we back. Brother Abdullah from the case. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, ya Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
May God bless you for everything you do for us.
Thank you. Same to you, Brother Abdullah.
All right. I have 2 questions about zakat.
Yeah?
Well, your intention is to pay zakat, but the amount you have is not up to the amount that is zakatable. Can you say pay the zakat out of that amount?
No, can you repeat your question again, Abdullah?
Yeah, you have an amount saving for throughout the year. It's like a 1 lunar year. You want to pay the zakat, but the amount actually is not up to the level of the amount that you should pay zakat out of that money. And you still willing to pay. Can you still take it out and pay? If you do that, is it considered as zakat or?
Oh, I got your question.
Charity?
Okay, I got your question. Okay. Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, second question is, if your wife gives you zakat out of her wealth, can you still spend that money back on her? Like if she needs something, can you use the same money to buy it for her?
Okay. Thank you. Brother Abdullah, I got your question, but we ran out of time. Let me see. No, we really ran out of time. Inshallah, I'm going to see you on next Sunday, inshallah, to answer these pending questions. and some more. Until then, brothers and sisters, I leave you all in the care of Allah. But tomorrow, inshallah, we'll meet again with our program, Gardens of the Pious, the first episode after the blessed month of Ramadan. Hope to see you tomorrow as well, inshallah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate